there are two special edited volumes of journal and around 20 research article. And currently he serves as a series editor with Professor Irudaya Rajan on the project Global Indian Diaspora in 21st Century. So there are many accolades with Sajauddin. I think I'll post your bio
Yeah,
in
I
our group,
think
and so
it's okay.
everybody
Yeah,
can see it.
yeah.
Dr. Sujauddin is like my younger brother, but in his work, he has surpassed many of us. He is much ahead of us. So you are welcome to Global Please Let's Talk Forum, International Forum. We mostly believe in peace and brotherhoodness. So we are also organizing these lecture. So tell us about you have visited Palestine, I think in 2022. So tell us about your experience of
Yes.
Palestine. Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shamanas and Dr. Nikki, and also this particular forum, Global Peace, Let Us Talk. I express my sincere thanks for providing me with the opportunity to share my impression of visiting to Israel and Palestine. Uh, I must begin with acknowledgement that I had an opportunity to be a Summer Institute Fellow at Brandeis University, USA in 2022, which has also uh, provided me the opportunity to visit Israel and Palestine. We had a wonderful visit. We met uh, different people, culture, the rich heritage of Palestine, and of course, Israel, which was established in 1948. Uh, this would not have been possible for me being a student of and researcher of migration and diaspora studies, particularly from uh, countries like India um, and of course my identity, which was also questioned in the Israel when I was visiting the university there. So, but thanks to this summer program and Brandeis University for providing me with this opportunity, through this particular uh, fellowship, I was able to meet the people, culture, identity, food, the rich history of different Abrahamic religions, especially the Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and both the pre-Muhammadan Islam and the Islam after Prophet Muhammad. So it has a huge history. It's full with so many uh, religious significance of most of these, world's religions, which are, for example, Christianity and Islam, and of course Judaism. So this particular place called Palestine or Palestine and today's Israel, it has a great significance in all these three religions, particularly in Islam. We will go in detail with where things went wrong. When we talk about peace, then what are the challenges to peace? So I would briefly talk about all these, important text, and we respect the both Christian and Jews, Judaism, because of our affinity with these great prophets before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them, Prophet Musa, Prophet David, Prophet Jesus, Isa, may Allah peace be upon them, and of course Prophet Muhammad. All these major prophets have close relation to this land called Palestine, or Israel today. What do we call? But then when you visit Israel and when you visit Palestine, then you won't be identify which is Palestine and which is Israel today, because the idea that I had in my mind before visiting Israel, I thought I'll be visiting Israel, but then when we visited, it was Palestine, the land and the partition which has taken place in 1948. That's no longer there now because Israel has also occupied the territories which were divided and given to Palestine, including the Golan Heights and the Galilee and the West Banks and so on and so places. I'll come to that part. But before we begin with this talk, I would like to take your attention to one of the poems of Mahmoud Darwish, that is Passport. They did not recognize me in the shadows that sucked away my colors in passport, and to them my wound was an exhibit. For a tourist who loves to collect photographs, they did not recognize me. And this poem goes on. And we were also like simply a tourist. But thankfully, we were also serious scholars. And I must appreciate the Sustaman Center for Israel Studies, which has taken us to very core arguments and issues of Israel Palestinians. They also took us to the West Bank. There was a museum, and that museum was about the exhibition of Palestinian resistance, including the recent killing of Arab American uh, journalist Ahleh. We also took to see those, graffitis and it's not we had no idea. We were in the custody of the organizers, but then it was their critical bent of understanding that they wanted us to know that, look, this is how the Palestinians are, this is how they are fighting for their rights. There were many scholars who also uh, talk about the issues of Palestinians and their problems, including the Chief Justice of Israel. We had opportunity to meet him in Jerusalem, and we had discussions, and he was also telling us how the various issues, various cases of Palestinians are pending in the court, and how they are also trying to provide justice to. And there is also one of the party in Israel, in the Israeli Senate, that it is fighting and representing the Palestinians in the Israeli territory now, because and it's a very complex issue. It's not that simply that we go and take the pictures and read some books and talk about it. If you go into reality, if you go into the field, you would see that how what kind of complex situation it is. I think we were discussing, me and Professor Shahminaz, and she was asking me some of the questions. Do you think, Shujauddin, is that possible? There is a peace. I think we'll come to that part also. But let me tell you about this importance of this place. Why this particular place is important? Why there is this religious significance among all these three religions, and how the Nizam of Hyderabad, how India was being connected with Israel and Palestine. Israel came later on the scene, but before it was Palestine, and then we had a close relation with and the presence of Indians in Palestine dating back to 13th century, and we had a trade there. We have traders visiting this place. We have Indians visiting this particular holy shrine. It's a holy place for Indians in uh, Jerusalem, the Masjid al-Aqsa, uh, and the from where, and there are so many religious references, including in Quran. There is a surah which exclusively talks about the importance of this particular place and the Prophet Muhammad's journey from this place to heaven. So it has a great significance, and it has a close relation with Indians, and Indians were there in the Palestine dating back to 13th century, then coming to the seventh Nizam of Hyderabad, Mir Usman Ali Khan's in 19th century, his role in donating handsome amount to the restoration of Masjid al-Aqsa, the one of the holiest sites of Islam, and he has also supported the establishment of Waqf, the endowment fund in Palestine, and he has also sponsored Zaviyah Hidayah Hospice Center. It was actually a place dedicated to Sufi Baba Farid Ganshakar from India, and it was managed by Nazir Hassan Ansari. Then later today, it operates as a hospice center, and it was also the Nizam of Hyderabad who has funded handsome amount to establishment of the Islamic University in Palestine, uh, and it was in 1931. So he has also contributed around 7,543 pound that time, and there were so many other contributions that he has uh, sent to Palestine. But it was also argued, and I am not very sure about this, but then the money that he sent to establishment of the university in Palestine, which was not delivered to the Palestinians because the Britishers were the immediataries. So we got to know about this idea when we were visiting this place. And I shall show you some of the images. I will share the slide so that you will have some idea, more clear idea. Can I share the slide? Yeah.
Yes, sure, sure.
Screen share. Okay. I will close this. I'll go to this part. Yes. Can you see the slide?
Yes, thank you.
Is it visible?
We can
Yes.
see them. Thank
Dr.
you.
Shamanaz, you can.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah. There is some issue with my laptop, but just please give me a moment. It's not showing it to me. I will
Actually, this
stop
happened, Suja, this
sharing.
happened with Zoom. We are not able to see the slide, but others are able to see. The one who is presenting is not able to
Oh,
see
really?
properly.
Uh-huh. Okay. Can we do it like this? Just a minute. Is it fine now?
It's opening. It's opening.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, now we can see.
Yeah.
Dr. Sajauddin, now we can.
Why I wanted to, yeah,
Mm.
why I wanted to show some of the pictures, because they will speak more than what I would tell you, because you as a scholar of various discipline will have a different understanding of reading this particular visit things which I try to cover sometimes I might miss. So these are some of the two images. One is in the which was taken in the Bethlehem, where I saw first time the Palestinian uh, on the way towards the West Bank. We did see some of the flags of Palestine, and then first time I saw the police station of Palestinian police and the poster of Palestinian Authority. On the right side, you have one of the hotels where we were staying. So often on the streets also, we see that Israel and American and European connection. So these flags, you will often see that sometimes you will have to find out whether you are in USA or in Europe or in Israel, because you have so many flags there, and that reflects and that has been reflected in the Israeli American diplomacy or Israeli European diplomacy, how they are strategically close, of course, during this difficult times, uh, and that we have witnessed in the last few months, what has been happening and how closely America and Israel are, America is, and European countries are supporting Israel, despite its taking very violent turn, and despite its being condemned by so many human rights organizations and UN and so on and so forth. I will go to next slide where we landed at the Ben Gurion uh, airport, and this is my permit to Israel, and I got visa. Also, my visa was also approved by Israeli embassy, and it was delayed because of my name. I got visa quicker in to USA, and it was delayed for Israel because my name was Muslim. And when I was visiting the University of Haifa, our vehicle was stopped because they thought I'm an Arab. Then my organizers, the entire university team, and other professors have to clarify that I am not an Arab, I am an Indian. So there were some this racist instances took place, but other than this, bad aspect, I really like the way we had wonderful trip, visit, very scholarly, very insightful. As I said, I would not have come across these close reading aspects of this visit through books. Therefore, this visit was important. Then we were taken to Haifa. Haifa. Haifa is another important and strategic place. It has so much a strategic importance. It was a port city. Therefore, during 1948 war, Israel wanted this badly, and it was, it came under the control of Israel. And interestingly, you could see that it has a handsome population of Palestinians are now Israeli citizens without passport, citizens without identity card. You could see that some of the Palestinians sitting backside and Israeli Palestinians, you can say, and but some of them are having certain kind of identity cards, and some of them are afraid of leaving this place. If they leave the place, they can't come back because they don't have proper document. So they will be quote and unquote illegal, illegal in their own homeland. So these are some of the complexities about when we talk about the citizenship of these people. And yeah, I was telling that this particular place called Haifa is being also fought by Indian soldiers under the British Army, particularly from uh, United Province, UP and MP, and Gwalior and Hyderabad and some other places. These soldiers from this, they fought and they won the war against the Ottomans because there was a fight between Ottomans and the British. So Indians army being subject of British Empire that time was supporting. But then remember, it was fought in 1948 and India got independence in 1947. So we had still some of the loyal armies which were fighting against the, unfortunately, Ottoman Empire, because we had a very strong movement led by our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and Father Frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, that was called as a Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement for the Britishers, but then that did not work out. And we could see that after getting independence also, we were able to support this British people. Uh, so you could see some of the Israeli Palestinians, and I told you their citizenship status. Then how the demography was changed. The demography of Palestine, then turning into Israel, because 1948, and this 1948 did not happen as like that, because it has so much history, diplomatic, the strategies were being laid out, and then the 1948 war took place because Arabs were denying this idea of establishing Jewish state uh, on the Muslim land, and majority of them were Muslim. Of course, there were Christians, minority, Jewish also were in minority, but then Jews started coming to land of Israel because after Holocaust and before Holocaust, this idea of Zionism, the Zionist movement, has started mobilizing people of Jewish heritage, Jewish people, to claim and reclaim this promised land, the land of Israel. And they started coming, and Arabs were in poor state. Another important factor was that the Jews who were coming to Israel, they came with lot many possible ways, including buying Arab lands, Arab houses in Palestine with huge amount. And these poor fellows, they sold it out. Some of them, they lost because they took it by force also. So there were so many narratives of how Jews started coming to this land of Israel, and how they uh, 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 overtook, changed the demography of this place. There was one of the presentations in our visit. One of the scholars has presented, and he has shown how Muslims were interested to welcoming the Jews because they were persecuted. And even if you look at the Urdu literature, Hindi literature of that time of India, you would probably find that Muslims of India were also sympathetic about the Holocaust, and including Hindu Indians, because most of the Maharajas, like Maharaja of uh, uh, Maharashtra, Maharaja of uh, Jamnagar, and many Maharajas of India also welcomed the Jews because it was a terrible situation. And the Arab especially the Arab leader Faisal Hussein, was also sympathetic, and he said Jews are welcome, but not as a Jewish state, because they knew this political fear of establishing Jewish state on the Palestinian territories. They welcomed them. They wanted to have soft corner because Arabs, Christians, and Jews have a very peaceful coexistence. If you visit the Palestinian territories, you would find that Arabs are living happy lives with Christians. There was no problem at all, and Christians are living happily with the Arabs and Jews, especially the Karachi Jews. So when we are to blame all the Jews, Jews are also very nice, especially the Karachi Jews. Karachi Jews. Karachi Jews are mostly the Arab Jews. And in our discussion, in our visit, we also got to know that Haredi Jews are not much welcome within the dominant Ashkenazi Jew circle, because most of the people who came during 1940s and 50s and also 60s are mostly the Ashkenazi Jews from Europe. They were the whites. And Arab Jews have Arab features. And the European Jews were absolutely different in terms of their physical appearance and the dress code and so on, so things. Here, what we need to understand is that the Haredi Jews are different from the Ashkenazi Jews, and of course, the Kala Jews, the Jews who came from African countries, and of course, the Indian Jews. What I also understand is that the racism which we see is inflicted against the Palestinians as an Arab is also inflicted against the Jews who are not the mainstream Jews, especially the Haredi Jews, the Kala Jews, and the Indian Jews, and the Jews from other colors. So what I mean to say is that there are these diversions, and another important factor about the Haredi Jew was that the whole idea of coming back to Zion, Mount Zion, the Zionist movement, the returning back to Israel, the land of Israel, the promised land. And it was Ben-Gurion, when he became the first president, who called for the law of return. All the Jews who scattered across the globe can come and settle down in Israel. And this call was, of course, motivated by the Zionist movement, which was already going on. But legally, by passing this law, the law of return in 1949, I guess, 49-50, then this law came into implementation, and the territory which was occupied by Israeli was given to the people who were coming from various places, including Russia, Europe, and other places. But the ideologue behind this idea of Zionist movement, especially the people like Herzl, who championed this idea of Zionism, believe in the man-made return to land of Israel. He said, we will not make, there was an understanding, the religious understanding among the Jews, that the Messiah will come and we will return to the land of Israel. But then this Herzl said, no, we should not wait for Messiah to come. They will have to return to Israel and self-determination and so thing. And they succeeded. They were succeeded in convincing us. But then remember why I'm saying this, Haredi Jews, they said, no, we still do not believe in this idea of man-made return. We believe in the idea of messianic return to this land of Israel, and we still wait for this. Therefore, you might probably see that on the streets of Jerusalem, some of the Haredi Jews holding the posters and, testing against the Bibi and other, this Israeli forces, what they are doing. Of course, not just Haredi Jews, but there were also many Israeli who there are some messages. I'll look at it. Protesting against this particular war that was going on against the people in Palestine. 5 questions. Okay, there are few questions. Moving on to what on locations such as Israel. Are you military protected with armor or? There are some of the questions. Should I respond to them, or should we take it later?
Later. You can do it later.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll come to that point. So this is how the Jews started coming to Israel. Of course, wars that have taken place. Israel won war and established as a state, and so and so thing. But then is that slide changing? Okay.
Not yes.
Haifa,
Yes.
In the Haifa, you could see that there is big Baha'i garden near the shore.
We have the slide arrival of Jews. Now it is Baha'i garden.
Yeah, it's moving slowly. Yeah. So you could see some of the Arabs moving there, and the Baha'i garden, because I remember whatever was against the Ottoman was celebrated when the Jewish state was established. Israel was established. For example, the Baha'i religion, which was opposed by the Ottoman. So the person who established this, who claimed that he is a Messiah, he is one of the prophets. So Ottoman rejected his idea, and he was expelled from Iran. Then he moved to Israel, Palestine, and then in Palestine also he was expelled from Haifa, Jerusalem, to Akka, IRC, Akka, the nearest place near Haifa. So, but then later on, this particular religion was given space, and you could see a big Baha'i garden, celebrated place. Then we moved to Nazareth from there, and we could see that this is a wonderful place. Nazareth has, I think most of you are much aware about this place, because it has its own historical significance, because Nazareth is a place where Mother Mary was visited by Angel Gabriel and informed that she would give birth to a child named Isa, or Jesus. And this particular event, this particular whole part of history is called as Annunciation among the Christians and among the Muslims, and of course some of the Jews. Then there are few major places: the Basilica of the Annunciation and the St. Joseph's Church and the Greek Orthodox Church of Annunciation. these are some of the important places that we visited. And this is the place here you could see. And there are also various, how this idea of enunciation spread across the cultures, including the Arabs, including India, including many other countries, was reflected here throughout in this, there is a wall compound of this particular church. So they have reflected. You could see the Indian imaginations and the idea how it is reflected through this painting about the whole incidence of enunciation. And then you have also from various places this idea. And more interestingly, this particular place, if you go there, you would find the internal structure in this building is like this, the last slide, where there are some grills, iron grills, and this is the place. It's believed that where this particular idea of enunciation came in. So, and this place, you hardly find the Roman language, but the Greek also tried to inscribe many things in the Greek language and tried to take out the Arabic history of this place. But then if you visit, then there was so much opposition came from the local people, and then this Arabic poster has to be reinstalled, in the Church of Annunciation. And moreover, if you see this Orthodox Church in Nazareth, you would also see that, oh, I said it's a church. I should have asked you, what is this? Because you might probably think, even people like me from India, they will easily think that it's a mosque. It's a mosque. But because it's beautifully written in Arabic calligraphy, the walls, but they are all about the place which is donated by Bisra community has, donated this. And this is also about, it's a hall, it's a big hall, and it's a church. It's written in that time Arabic, and that Arabic still preserved, and it is preserved. It is not at all touched by, or because as I said earlier, Islam and even the teaching of later the prophets, and also the companion of, especially the Prophet Muhammad, the last prophet, did not teach disrespecting the people of the book. Ahle Kitab. Ahle Kitab means people of sacred books. And what are those sacred books? Those four Psalms and Injil, Torah, and Quran. So Muslim protected and respected these places, and therefore you had this composite and respectful coexistence of Muslims and Jews and Christians in this place. Muslims and Christians mostly, because it's mostly populated by Muslims and Christians. And but later on, the way Christianity is being understood, the way Islam is being understood, and the way the language politics operated among these two communities, especially among the Muslims. They thought Arabic is the only language for Muslims. Christian also thought, okay, it's only language for Muslims. Then the Arab, but then there was a disowning of, linguistic identity of Christians from Arabic to other languages, Greek and Aramaic and etc., including Latin language. And when we were moving from there, we also found that there was a wonderful mask. It's a white mask on the way towards and just after that there is a big market. So it shows that how respectfully, and peacefully Christians and Muslim live in this place. And yeah, this is another important place when we move to Nazareth. So it is a Yarden. This is a place, it is believed by Christians, and especially by New Testament, that Jesus, when he came here and baptized. And then interestingly, if you go to this place, here also you would find on all the walls almost every language, including Telugu, Nepali, Marathi, Hindi, Chinese, and whatnot. It's written that the entire, idea of baptism here. So I just took the Hindi photo because I'm from India, so I was excited, and I took the Hindi, Telugu, and Nepali, and there were many other languages where it's believed that Prophet Isa came here and he had this, baptism. And on the same street, when we were walking, we were escorted towards this place also, where you would find so many graffitis of Palestinian resistance. People writing on the wall as a graffitis, and you could see that Palestine 1948 and whatever expressions they have depicted through this uh, graffitis. And more interestingly, the recent you know graffiti of Palestinian American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, who was shot, died. There is a big mound, some 30 feet long graffitis being, uh, made in respect to Akleh's. And then not only this, but there were so many. The Palestinians are very sweet people, very nice people, because and also the sweet that they were preparing, we also tasted this. It was their mahroom is important, one of the historic, shops. This is their generations who were running these shops from 1890 onward, from that time. So we had tasted this place. Now, Galilee, Golan Heights, and West Bank, Israel occupied the Tiberias and the surrounding areas during the 6 Days War in 1967, when Israeli forces captured West Bank, East Jerusalem, Golan Heights, and Gaza strips from Jordan, Syria, and Egypt. Prior to this, Tiberias was under Jordanian control since 1948 Arab-Israeli War. We also visited Israeli-Jordanian border. On one see the Israeli flag, and on the other side you see that, Jordanian flag. And after this war, there was no much relation between Israel and Jordan. And because before that, even today also, there are some of the goods that come from Jordan to Israel. I purchased few things from the Jerusalem market when I roam around in the market. So I found many products from Jordan. But then the occupation of Tiberias and other territories mark a significant turning point in the Israeli-Arab conflict with the Palestinians. Despite the international calls for withdrawal, Israel continues to maintain control over this region, and their status remains the issue for these peace negotiations that are taking place in the Middle East. And interestingly, it's not just controlling, but it is changing its demography drastically, and there is hardly any hope that it will withdraw from these territories. But then, interestingly, we also come across a very nice, banner called "And Love Your Neighbors." So This is the important place that we visited. It's a wonderful restaurant run by African Jews. They are called as the Kalas because they have this black complexion. Uh, they have their own stories and narratives to tell. But despite coming into Israel, because if you look at the majoritarian Israeli identity is, as I said, is a Europeanized, Americanized understanding of being Israeli or being Jew. Therefore, the Jews coming from other places like Africa, India, and other places feel uh, alienated, and but they have their own wonderful, very sound understanding about Judaism. So they hardly care and they enjoy their identity. So she was telling us the wonderful story, and interestingly, when they come to Israel, they maintain their heritage, whether it's African, whether it's Indian, or from wherever they are coming from. Then we came to uh, Jerusalem, another important, the most important place in this whole conflict, peace, conflict, and the future. We had this when this particular place was captured by, or the, when the Muslim rulers took over the control of this Jerusalem, there was the treaty. It was called Umar Treaty. And if you enter from the uh, Western Jerusalem, Western area, so you would find a big gate called Umar Khattab Gate. So it's a big gate built in the respect of uh, Umar Khalif. And when the Byzantine Empire, he was defeated. So he put the challenge, condition that Umar should come in person. So then only I will hand over this city, which was defeated, to Arabs or the Muslims. So Umar came in person, and but he made a treaty at that time itself, and he was respected, and all the Jews and Christians welcome him, without any violence, without harming the women, without harming the defeated. They were respected, and the peace treaty was made. There was a pact, Umar Pact was made, and it was clearly said that no religious places, no Christians and Jews will be treated badly. So then we visited interesting place. I should show you 1 minute, just a minute. I will tell you that place name. It's a wonderful place. There was a mosque which was built in the respect of uh, Khalif Umar, because I will tell you that story, but let me move to this particular history of Al-Aqsa Mosque, which was located in the old city of Jerusalem, one of the holiest sites of Islam. And this compound, the whole entire Al-Aqsa compound is divided into 4 parts, and those 4 parts are the Muslim quarters, the Jewish quarter, the Armenian quarter, and the Christian quarter. So Muslim quarter is the biggest, and then you have the other quarters. I'll come to that part. But this particular place called Masjid Al Aqsa, Haram al Sharif, is one of the earliest qiblas of Muslims. So Muslim used to pray towards this place before Makkah. So, and this, if you go inside, it's a beautifully, crafted place, and it has this particular places references are, you will find in in the Quran, in the Hadiths, and also in the history, that how Prophet, you know, Isra. This movement, this travel is called Isra on the Buraq. How he was, taken to this place and from there to heaven. So this is the Dome of Rock, and this is Masjid. This is in the same compound of Masjid Al-Aqsa. This is Masjid Al-Aqsa in the silver dome, and this is the golden dome, the one which we saw earlier. So people used to prayer here, and people like some of the Palestinians, they distribute chocolates after every Friday prayers, so that people can, have. Uh, I hope I'm not taking too much time. Should I move faster, Dr. Shamanaz? Because I don't want it to be monotonous. We
Actually,
will have
Rana Basharat
interactive
sir,
sessions
he's a
too.
activist, Palestinian activist, also want to talk after you, na? So, um, you can
I
go
should quick.
fast.
I should.
No, no,
I
not
should
quick. You
quickly.
can go a little faster. You
Yeah,
faster.
please. So I wanted to tell you that there are some of the this is how the, Muslim quarter, now it's a Armenian quarter. This is another, place which was given to Armenian community, and it has a long history, going back to 4th century. And then you have a Jewish quarter. It's important thing I wanted to discuss you, because it's on the Mount Zion. It is place called Mount Zion, and there is this, uh, culture center in, and it has its own religious significance. And Jewish quarter was also, it also comprises of this particular, mourning wall, where Jews go and, uh, do their prayers. So this is an important part. And from this backside of this wall, you have entry to, Muslim quarter. There is huge security. The Israeli security is there throughout this compound. You would find. So uh, especially to nowadays, whenever this uh, Friday prayer is taking place, there is so much disturbance because of this escalating tensions between Israel and Arab Palestinians of this land. Uh, this particular place, when it was occupied, so there was also they also established a seminary called Diaspora Yeshiva. It's an educational institution. People from different worlds, they come here of Jewish heritage and study about Judaism and old texts, etc. So when we were entering into this place, we also come across a caption in Hebrew that is, "Don't make your friend who hate Israeli." And it was, erased. So it is on the Mount Zion. This is a place where this, King David's, it is believed to be the tomb of King David, which was also, respected amongst the Muslims. And this is there are some random pictures of Jerusalem, the beautiful city with beautiful cats also, and marketplaces. And as I said, I happened to buy some of the products in the market, and this is the place of Christian quarter. Now Christian quarter, Muslim, Armenian, Jewish, now Christian quarter. This is the important, you know church in the compound, near compound of Al-Aqsa Mosque. And this was the particular compound which also came under the control of Muslims when they took over this place. But then, companion Umar was visiting this place, and it was Asar time, Asar prayer time. So when Azan was called, the call for prayers. So he was inside the church, but then he came out. The Padri, the preacher of this church, told that Umar, you can offer prayer here. They offered him a, place, and they said, you can offer prayer here. He said, no, I cannot offer here. If I offer the prayer inside this church, people coming after me would claim this place as a Muslim place because I'm a Khalif, and if I offer the prayer here, so they will consider this and they will convert this church into masjid. So this argument, changed the entire perceptions of Christians towards Muslim, and particular the Khalif. And in respect to in respect to Umar, within this, Christian uh, church area, they have built a mosque called Mosque of Umar, because Umar said, I will offer outside of the church. And there they have, built this mosque. It is called the Mosque of Umar. And interestingly, this story of, cohabitation, is a story of living together peacefully with respect, is not much being told to us. And this story I only happened to know when I visited this place. And not only this place, Umar's Mosque, but even if you go to Church of Nativity, there also you would find the Mosque of Umar, because Umar did not visit there. But then, even then, they have constructed the Mosque of Umar in respect to Umar's, that decision. So, and moreover, if you see that the idea of wearing hijab, if chair permits me, I would like to say that you have to wear the covering the headscarf, and the many of the Christians of this land also do wear the headscarf and this veiling, because there is another, if I go into this debate, it will have a, so I just want to say that both Muslims, Christians, and Jews do wear different kind of head covering. And now we were entering into the West Bank. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Entering
So
West
this
Bank.
particular place. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So when we were entering into the West Bank, we found that there was this entire place is being, uh, constructed. Walls are being constructed, and they are very securitized with advanced technology like artificial intelligence. Even animals cannot climb this wall. So this is how we entered, and when we entered, we saw that fencing throughout this Arab locality. And interestingly, this entire wall was painted with so much graffitis and we had a small we had also visit to a small museum of Israel Palestinian resistance, how they were being, uh, entire some part of history is being depicted. So we had opportunity to visit these places. So except this place, I did not find anywhere the Palestinian state or authority which is being visible, because most of the Palestinians do use Israeli currency. Also, they use euro and dollar. They don't have their own passport. Police and security is also under the control of Israel. And there are, interestingly, when we visited this place, so this was the fencing we entered. But when we visited this place, then we had some of the cars which were, have this Palestinian permit. Some of the cars have, this Israeli permit. So this was the place I was stopped. I was misunderstood as a Arab, and this was the security who called for another security guys, and they checked my document. And interestingly, when we were going to roaming around the uh, Jerusalem, and we found this graffiti, Shalom. So you might probably see that why Indians are so much excited about Jews, and Jews are excited about, India, and how India tried to praise the Israel and so and so. So there are some of the things which I wanted to show, and I think I should stop here, and I should keep the floor open for various questions. I'm sorry if I've taken much time,
No,
and I'm
there are
happy that there are many good scholars who will have.
Suja, there are some question. First of all, let us give a
Yes,
clap.
please.
Let us clap for Sajauddin for such a brave act also that he visited, and such there are so much to talk about Dr. Sajauddin, like about certain thing like how Jewish colonies have been established above Palestinian houses. Then there are many things about Handal, about Rachel Khori, and how they use bulldozer justice, which is also prevailing here also. There are lots of things we can discuss. Suja, can you recognize something? Do you think I'm also wearing a Palestinian throbe? It is a gift of a friend from means one of the wife of a scholar of Palestinian doing PhD in India. His wife has presented this Palestinian throat to me. So now there are some question in the chat box. Would you like to answer them? Then we can
Yeah.
have a discussion with the.
Yes, of
Uh,
course. Yes, of course. Please, let me open the chat. Just
Doctor
a
has
minute.
has
Let me.
asked
Should
some
I stop
four or
this?
five
Should I
questions.
stop this slide?
Yeah, yeah, you
Should
can.
I stop the slide?
There are yes, yes. Or you that slide can be there if somebody wants to see some pictures. There
Yeah,
are
yeah. No
five
problem. No
question,
problem.
five question by Dr. Rex Uche. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce the name. Dubishi Nwanko. He had asked five question. Suja, can you give in a short answer of these five question together? Then there is a by Sylvester Slide Mohammed. Then we have a question from
What?
Tina Joan.
Uh, Dr. Sujauddin, what motivated you to visit Israel Palestine despite ongoing conflict and security concern, and how did you experience shape your perspective on the region? Okay. Can you describe a particularly poignant and eye-opening movement you encountered during your visit to Palestine? Okay, how did you navigate the complexities of moving through the checkpoints, border, and district? In your observation, what are some common misconceptions or stereotypes about Israel Palestine that you visit have dispelled confirm? Yeah, wonderful. I think yes. I tried to respond throughout my presentation to most of the questions. Uh, but first question, what motivates me? Yeah, this was actually I am a student and researcher and professor of migration and diaspora studies. And when we talk about diaspora today, so it the Jewish diaspora provides us an archetypal pattern of diaspora as a field of inquiry. And then from Jews, then it has moved to Palestinians, the Africans, Indian, Chinese, and so many other uh, diasporic groups. So it's my field of study. So I had an opportunity to get selected for this fellowships, and that has opened various doors for me. And yes, there are various misconceptions about both Palestinians and Israeli Jews. And I tried to highlight here that there are certain Israelis who really stand for the causes of Palestinians, including the some of the
Noam Chomsky, Naomi Wolf, famous writers, Jewish writer. Noam
yeah,
Chomsky.
no, those are very big names, and those who are not staying uh, in Israeli territory. I'm talking about those who are living in Israel today. Yeah. And I told one of the experiences of me at checkpost that they suspected me as an Arab. That was the only incident that I had. But other than that, there was no problem at all. I was
Dr. Chaminaz, can you hear
nicely,
me?
I was
Yes,
nicely
yes,
moving. There was
Dr.
no problem at
Chaminaz,
all.
can you hear me?
yes,
Dr.
Yes. Hi,
Chaminaz,
Nikki.
now
yes,
please
Nikki.
maybe just read through the questions. There's a lot of questions. Rather read them
He's
out
answering.
aloud. Yeah.
He's answering. Yeah, he's
Okay.
answering.
Okay, thank you,
He's
thank
answering.
you.
Hi, Dr. Nikki.
Nikki,
You want to
Dr.
say
Nikki,
something?
Suja is already answering all these questions.
Yes. I hope I was able to answer to these questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There is a question by Tina Jones. She's asking, how will the US election impact the Israeli-Palestinian war? And Tariq Kunarsal sir from Turkey also want to ask something.
Would you allow him to ask, please? Let him
Yes.
ask.
Tariq Hojam Meherba. Sir, your mic is off.
Yes, greetings to you all. I'm so sorry for joining you late. I made a mistake when I wrote down the time. I'm very sorry. And I've learned a lot. Thank you, Dr. Sajettin. It's good to see friends, Dr. Shahmenaz and Dr. Nikki and Dr. Franca. Um, um, the difference between Jew and Judaist is important, I think. I have Jewish friends who are atheists.
Okay,
So,
can everybody else hear? I think.
excuse me?
Dr.
Hello?
Tariq Hojam, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. So when you mean Jewish Arabs or Arab Jews, do you mean Judaist Arabs?
Please.
Because, yeah, I have just asked, when you mentioned Jewish Arabs, do you mean Judaist Arabs?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think let me clarify it. Thank you, Tariq, for asking this question. When I say Jewish Arab, so there are Jews who were already in Arab, who were
Yes,
Arab in their appearance, who were Arabs, especially the Haredi Jews. There are different types of Jews. The Haredi Jews are the Jewish Arabs, Arab Jews.
You mean ethnically?
Ethnically, yes.
Oh, okay.
Sir,
Thank you so much.
Tariq sir, Suja, can I answer one thing? Tariq,
Yes, please go ahead.
Tariq Hojam, actually, Jewish, those who have mostly come from outside after the after all this catastrophe happened in Germany,
Yeah.
are the Jews who are outside, and after the forceful creation of Israel, there were
I
Jews
know.
coming from all over the world.
I
So
know.
they are different Jews, and the Jews who have been living in centuries are the Palestinian Jews.
Yes.
They support Palestine.
Yes. Yes, I understand. I just wanted to, because
clarify,
many people use the word Jew for Judaist, but they are two different things. And I have been to Israel and 3 times, and maybe if there's a chance, I can mention that another time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you.
I hope I made a clarification, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Suja, if you allow, we can
Yeah.
have Rana Basharat Ali Khan, sir. He is an
Yes, of course.
Palestinian
Please go
activist.
ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
So let me. Most of the people know him because he is already he is present on GPLT, but and people in UK know him. So I'm giving a brief introduction of Rana Basharat Ali Khan. He is an extreme global human rights activist, a leader, and the founder and chairman of the International Human Rights Movement, an organization operating across 60 countries with nearly 100,000 dedicated activists focusing on raising a voice for justice and equality without distinction of race, religion, or ethnicity. His organization accepts no donation, charity, or financial aid from any institute or individual. All member works on a volunteer basis, recognized as a powerful advocate of Palestinian rights, particularly within Europe. Uh, Khan sir has led numerous demonstrations, including historic protests uh, in Bristol and across the UK. In October 2023, he was mobilized a significant protest where 29,000 people gathered to stand in solidarity with Palestine. His leadership has driven impactful lobbying and advocacy effort for Palestine in major international forum, including the UN and the EU, and his effort extend to Europe and Pakistan. Notably, in a groundbreaking demonstration, his leadership led to a 3-month sit-in at the BBC building in Bristol, demanding fair and unbiased coverage of Israel action in Palestine. This protest marked a historic moment in advocacy, though it eventually concluded following a court mandate. His unwavering commitment has established Rana Bashar Ali Khan as a prominent voice for Palestinian right on the global stage. Sir, we want to hear from you also, whatever you want to say. And Suja sir is based in UK, but he's a Pakistani working for human rights.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy to know from Basharat Saab. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, thank you to all the participant members, listeners from social media, YouTube, WhatsApp, and all the members who are present in this Zoom meeting. I want to say thank you, Dr. Shuja. What is a wonderful achievement and what is a gracefully you represent the case for Palestine. The history, the background, the knowledge you provide, including me and the rest of the people, that is a very powerful, and we believe that will help us to raise the voice for the people of Palestine across the world. People like you are the strength and the power and a role model, not only for the people of Palestine, but the people around the world who are working for humanity. Your visit for Palestine and the presentation, it was so amazing that I was not ready to speak, and I was enjoying the knowledge you are providing. But thank you to Global Peace Let's Talk and the Secretary General Nikki D. Pana for International Human Rights Movement and Dr. Sharmeen and all the members from around the world to joining this conference today. Palestine is such a sensitive issue, not only for a Muslim, but across the world. That is an issue when we want to discuss. There is so much to speak, because as a human rights worker, Dr. Shuja, you will also accompany me saying this. This is not something we can finish in a few hours speech. This is not something we can describe in our wording. This is not something we will learn and understand in a Zoom meeting. This is not something which we will take away the pain they are suffering in Palestine. Just a small example. Imagine in October 7th, in 2023 till today, official figure, more than 2 million people are moved from their houses. More than 130,000 people, including pregnant women, children, students, and young children, been killed. These are a figure which came out from the strong and controlled environment. Imagine what will be the real numbers and what will be the real figure. And more than 30,000 young women get raped by the Israeli armies. These are the figures which we are. It is very easy for me to say, but I believe Dr. Shuja been in Palestine. He is a much more pain and much more eyewitness to explain these situations. Trust me, when we speak for Palestine, we need to understand that we are speaking for humanity. It is not about a war for a land. This is not a war for a two nations. This is not a war for a two different religion. This is not a war for a two color. This is a war for our weapons. This is war for our money. This is war for our humanity. This is war for our justice. This is war for our peace. People, I am in a direct contact in a Palestine, international human rights movement team working in a Palestine. In 2023, we lost 6 international human rights workers during that war, and till today we are not have any knowledge where they are, and we do not have any contact with even they are alive or they've been kidnapped or they're in a prison or they are kidnapped or whatever happened with them. We are totally lost our connection with them. Imagine people living under the control environments. It's an open prison. It's called open prison on the planet. But the major thing, it is such, I don't know who said this, but this is a very well-known wording from some leaders, that it is not Palestinians who are occupied. It is not Palestine who live in a prison. It is 56 Islamic countries who live in a prison. It is 56 Islamic countries who are silent. So this is something, as a Muslim, I feel shamed myself when I call La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and I see my fellow countries' leadership being a silent, saying nothing. People like Dr. Shuja, Dr. Nikki, Dr. Sharma, and Yoval Bhatti, people like these people who are a real hero for us, at least because they are fearless making their voice. They know they are in a danger. They know they will be facing a very much difficulty. I can understand after this open speech and brave introduction and brave historical knowledge providing by Dr. Shuja, I am doubt that he will be very much difficult situation to re-enter in a Palestine after these kind of information he provide. I'm a witness many Muslims, even top leadership of the Muslims human rights organization, they've been banned and they will detain in a Israel airport. Dr. Shuja will also witness, will also agree with my this. So the situation right now, what we can do, this is the main thing. I think you all are very aware what is the situation in Palestine. You all are aware that people from 1947 till today, they have been dying, they have been killed. The war Israel launched on Palestine more than 5 times. They are horrible wars. They killed millions of people. They start from just few thousand houses in Israel, when the Muslims with an open heart, with a great emotion, they welcome people from Israel when there was no space for them to go anywhere after the World War. There was no land for them, for our fellow Israeli people. But people of Palestine welcome them in their home. They welcome them as a guest. They welcome them as a neighbor. They open their heart. They open their land, their houses. I can also agree with Dr. Shuja, because when second Khalifa Hazrat Umar Farooq he was ready to read his prayer, that Padri and the head of church, he said, you can pray inside. The Hazrat Umar Farooq wonderfully said, I do not want to pray inside, because if I pray in your church, in your holy place, then the fellow Muslim will start also praying in this. I do not want to pray. This is what a Muslim believe. This is what we believe. We respect every religion. We believe, we respect Hinduism, we respect Christianity, we respect non-Muslim, we respect all the religion. This is what we learn. This is what we teach. This is our holy book teach us. We respect every religion. But what they return us, Dr. Shuja is witness for that, what they return. Only in last 1 year, 365 days, more than 2 million people dismantle and display from their houses. If you divide them, they are more than 30,000 people in a per month. It is in last 1 year been destroyed. When we divide them in a 30,000 per month, it's mean minimum 1,000 people lost their houses, lost their family per day in last 1 year. While we are talking, still they are been in dying. But the question how we can come out from this situation, how we can help in a Palestinian people. This is the main question. Dr. Nikki and all the people who are present in this meeting, mostly people from International Human Rights Movement from Pakistan also present. The way we can help them to keep moving, keep talking about them. This is something we need to understand. We need to talking about Palestine. We need to raise about the awareness. There is not much we can expect from United Nations. I work with the UN. I can understand the UN. United Nations is just a central club for a rich country. We cannot expect much from United Nations. That's one thing very clear we have to understand. There is not much expectation. There was a question raised by one of my fellow Zoom member from Dr. Shuja that what we are expecting from Donald Trump election. Trust me, it will nothing happen. The policy will never change. The policy, because Israel is one of the biggest customer for the United States of America. Israel, one of the biggest customer for European Union. Israel, one of the biggest buyer for weapons from these top countries. They have a common interest. They have a financial interest. They have all kind of interest. They have a joint businesses. They have a joint interest. So if you are expecting that they will launch or they will deliver something for people of Palestine who are dying in Palestine, we are in a wrong stage of thinking. We need to wake up. We need to raise awareness like these Zoom conferences. We need to promote people who are talking about Palestine. We need to utilize our social media. We need to utilize our societies, our cities, our community to awareness of Palestine. I can see the few hands are raised, but if there is any question, there is anything we can do as individual or as organization, please come forward and work for anyone whoever working for a Palestine, whoever working for a humanitarian. You have an organization around yourself. There is thousands of people like Dr. Shuja, Nikki, and Yoval Bhatti and Rana Naveed and people from Pakistan and around the world. They are working for human rights. What we can achieve, we can keep talking about the Palestine. This is one thing we have to do. We can launch. There is one other thing which is very practical things. You all are witness that the KFC, that's one of the most popular branch supporting the Israeli army. They've been banned they have closed many shops, many outlook around the world. If we keep boycotting the Israeli gadget, Israel stuff, I think we can make the big damage. This is how we can achieve. This is how we can help our Palestinian people, as in a Islamic way said, at least speak about injustice. If you can't speak, say bad about that in your heart. If you can't say bad about in heart, at least talk about it. Keep going it. This is how we can help Palestinian people. Imagine the last thing before I can answer any question or I can ask in the next question. It is very easy to say wearing nice suit, presenting nice presentation like me and Dr. Shuja said, 2 million people died, 30,000 women raped, 140,000 people, children out of school, 20,000 children been killed in hospital. This is very easy. I can say these in a three minute, less than a minute. But feeling the pain, close your heart, feel the people who left you, your father, your mother, your sister, people who died. Feel the pain, feel that moment when they left this beautiful world, when they left your company. What was the pain you feel? At least you You was around them. You was giving them a proper goodbye, farewell. But people who die in a Palestine, they do not have a nothing. They have nothing to burial them. They have nothing, not even a clean water to give them a wash by Islamic way before the last exercise for their departure. They do not have a medicine. People dying. At least do something. Come out from this political background. Come out from what believe you are. It is not make different. You believe Jesus, you believe Musa, you believe Hinduism, you believe Christianity, you believe Islam, whatever you believe. It's not make different which language you speak. It's not make different where you come from. It's not make different what believe you are. It's not make different what you understand. It's not make different what kind of knowledge you are holding behind you. The main thing, you need to stand for a people of Palestine. If you will not stand today, I don't know what your religion talk about when you will die, what will be answerable, what question will be asked from you. Trust me, what I believe, my heart, when I sleep with my children, when I sleep in my bed, I feel the pain, people of Palestine. We need to keep going. Thank you for everyone. May Allah bless the people who are in Palestine. I want to say last thing before I go. Dr. Shuja, sorry for your pronunciation if I pronounce wrong, but we proud on you. People are like you who are real hero. Trust me, I went in a Myanmar in 2017. I was deported from the airport. The situation are very bad in Palestine. People like you who've been in a Palestine and come back and speaking loudly and proudly, we're proud on you. Clap for you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to joining us.
Thank you so much, Rana. So I just want to add to Rana, please, that none of us can just sit back and think it's somebody else's problem, because really the situation is just a crisis. Not any one of us here can just say, but it's not my problem, and I don't want to get into trouble. It's not easy when you are defending the end to this conflict in different countries, because look what happened with the soccer match in where was it? Where they now started arresting all those people with their flags. But it's not about that. Rana's right. There are small little children that are being killed, and it's just so violent. When those buildings collapse, you don't know what everything has fallen on top of: the mother, the child, the father. So many families are being destroyed. It's a crisis. So all of us need to get together. Make sure that you contact the United Nations chief. Make sure that you send letters to the right place. Don't post letters on a Facebook to your people. It makes no difference. You have to find a way to get to the very top. The United Nations is, for me right now, is just crumbling because it has no influence and no power. We have to support them to give them the power back. Make sure that you send your letters to the right people and the right places, so that those that are sitting on the top, that are able to have access to government leaders, that is to the people that we need to get behind us. Do not do posts on your own WhatsApp groups or your Facebook groups. It's not helping. We have to get serious. Make sure that you do your letters. Make sure that your letters are to the point, and send them to United Nations Antonio Guterres, because right now we need them to exercise their strength and their power. Otherwise, we are saying that the United Nations is worthless. They have no influence and no power. We have to support them here. So make sure that's where your letters go. If there's something that you have that you think could make a difference, share that, please. Rwanda is fighting very hard in the United Kingdom, and other people are fighting hard in their own countries, but it's absolute chaos. Do it for those little children. Do it for the families that are being torn apart, because they are innocent. They are innocent. They are not guilty of the war crimes that are happening. They need your voice and they need your help, please. Thank you so much.
Rana sir, I would just like to add that South Africa was a country who took the issue of Palestine to International Court of Justice, and there are many Latin American countries who are. There are lots of protests are being going on, even the Europe also, and even some countries like Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon. They are also fighting, and we have recently seen that Beirut is so much of attack. So there are some countries fighting, but there are powerful countries who are keeping silent. They are even doing business like the Middle Eastern countries, whether it is Middle Eastern country or Turkey, they all are doing business with the Israeli government. That is something very depressing. If you are not able to fight, at least you should boycott business also. So I think with this we can end, or if there is Dr. Nikki, if somebody wants to speak, she can speak. Sujat? Yes, Dr. Sujat.
Is there anybody here that would like to add something? We've
Dr.
got some-
Sajauddin. Dr.
Yeah.
Sajauddin want to say something. Yes, Sujat,
Please.
go on.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I think it was a brainstorming session. Thanks, Dr. Nikki, Dr. Bishara Saab, Dr. Shamanaz, and I was also following some of the important messages in the chat box. People are very much concerned about the humanity as a whole, and they are also concerned about the hostages. It's a serious issue. I think when we talk about this, we should talk about this too. And when we talk about boycotting the Israeli product, I think that's a one way what a layman can do, what a common people like masses can do. But we as a scholar, we as a working in a different sections of our society, as a academician, as a policymakers, or people like Professor Bashir, because these are the people who are working crucially. And Dr. Nikki, what we need to understand, there was somebody who was asking a question, what is the result of this recent US election on this Israeli-Palestinian conflict? It's an interesting question. As I said, and it's reflected in my flag in the presentation first slide also. We had one flag on the Palestinian, on the other side, 3 flags, Israeli, European, and American. So that's a reality, and that's a diplomatic reality. And if you look at the American diplomacy, if you look at the American policies, if you look at the European policies, starting from, World War I, don't forget World War I. So how those are very much engaged, and I think you should also know that there are 49% Jews in Israel and 50% in America and 1% in other places across the world. What I'm saying is that there is a close relation of America and Israel and American Jews and Jews in America, which are shaping the international policies, which are also shaping the diplomacies, which are also shaping the decisions, which is also making people not to talk about this. The reason behind this is that we need to understand this, diplomatic setup. And then what is important here is that to have a dialogue. Dialogue, I believe in dialogue, and those are the things which are going to resolve this issue. We need to have a talk with Americans. We need to have a talk with the Israeli government and also the European governments which are supporting this, which are acting as a bystander in this, the violence which is taking place. And I just would like to clarify with one of the points that Professor Basharat was making, that this idea of freedom and talking about the issues of Palestinian was also embedded in the program that I participated. They have given us liberty to meet the people, and they were, of course, the Christians and Jews who allow us to meet the Palestinian Arabs, Muslims, and also Christians. And so what I mean to say is that there are spaces, there are people who encourage the truth, who are serious about this issue of Palestinians. So one of the questions that somebody asked me, what was the takeaway of your visit? What were the stereotypes that you had overcome from after visiting this? So I had also stereotypes about the Jews and Israelis. I have also stereotypes about Arabs. But then it's resolved because this scholarly engagement, dialogue, interaction, meeting people to people will also help a lot. I think with this, I think I should stop here. If there are many hands, if they want to add any comment and questions, you can do that. I think if chair permits, is it there, Professor? Yeah.
I think they should write their question in the group. We have a group, and I will pass into Dr. Sajauddin,
Yeah.
because it is almost midnight in South Asia,
Yes.
India and Pakistan.
Yes. I always welcome your question, comments, and suggestion. We should have a wonderful
Nikki, I
interactions.
think we should add Dr. Sajauddin also in GPLT.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas and my expertise. Thank you so much.
So, Nikki, we can end with your last comment.
There's just a question by Virgil Babaraya. Virgil? You can talk? Virgil, unmute yourself. Hello, Virgil, we can't hear you. Okay, Rana, do you want to add something?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you, Nikki Dipana, Dr. Sharmeen, and Dr. Shuja, and all the participants who engaged today with this healthy and fruitful and knowledgeable Zoom conference. I just want to introduce Nikki Dipana. Sorry, I'm taking Zoom for other direction. Dr. Nikki Dipana is our newly elected Secretary General for International Human Rights Movement for 2024 to 2028. Dr. Nikki Dipana, lots of people from International Human Rights Movement, Pakistan and around the world just joined. So you can just say hi to International Human Rights Movement members so they can introduce, they can see our new Secretary General. Thank you, Nikki, and thank you everyone for joining.
Yes,
Tariq, you're welcome.
Tariq Khoja.
Yes,
Tariq.
just 1 or 2 minutes, please. Thanking you again. Usually, in the world, the expression is the Palestinian conflict. I want to change the order. The Palestinian-Israeli. First Palestine. Let's mention Palestine first. This is important psychologically.
Tariq
And
sir, Tariq
and
Hujam, in the flyer, I have asked to put the name of Palestine first.
oh, great.
In the
Yes, yes, wonderful. And another thing, there is a brave and honest Israeli Jewish historian, you know, most of you know him, Ilan Pappé. He has written a lot of books, and
yeah, I have
he's
read his books. I have
yes,
read his book.
and also his interviews. He says the birth of Israel and the death of Zionism. Uh, he says it is. He agrees with us. You know, there are brave people. And as for Turkey, the President Erdogan talks a lot and then uh, gives the image that he is doing something good for
But sir, he's a great
Philistine.
diplomatic person.
He's not great at anything good. I mean, it's
Diplomatic.
no, not even that is I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him. One of the good international organizations in favor of the Palestinian cause is PAN International, and I'm on the advisory board of the PAN Peace Committee, etc., etc. There are a lot of people and organizations, but I agree with you. We must even do it stronger. Yeah, thank you so much. I
Tariq
would,
sir is also a peace activist, and sir, I think because of you, 21st March is celebrated as International Poetry Day. I think
well,
you,
yes,
you
yeah,
have.
I initiated the process that led to the UNESCO calendar. Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you, Tariq. Thank you so much for joining us. I was so happy when I saw you here. So you must do that more. Because I really think this isn't the last event we must have on this, Dr. Shamanas. I think we must do it again. So
Yes, yes.
well done to you. And I'm extremely grateful to our guest speaker. And I am going to ask him to join Global Peace Let's Talk.
Tariq Gunarsar sir also and Sajauddin also. We should add them. And Tariq sir, actually I am traveling to Delhi this month, and next month I will be traveling to Gujarat. So after that we will be doing an event on Palestinian resistance through literature with some of our scholars, some of us. We will be. And in the beginning, I've already told that I edited a book on Palestinian resistance in literature with an Iraqi scholar. So it is present in the ebook also. I will post the link of the ebook if anybody wish to order ebook. And the thing is that I have done some work on Palestinian. I have read lots of writers of Palestine, like Mahmoud Darwish, Edward Said, and Ghassan Kanafani. He was murdered by uh, Israeli Mossad. Then lots of women writers like Suzanne Abul Hawa and Salma Dabag, Randa Jarrar, Randa Abdel Fattah. You know, when we read literature, we also know the history, culture, and situation of the country. So I also request all of you to please read the literature, read the poems of Mahmoud Darwish, read the novels and stories of Ghassan Kanafani. He was a communist killed by Israel in Lebanon. Then we have Edward Said, with a literary critic who has means changed the narrative of colonialism. And then there are lots of women writers, Suzanne Abul Hawa, Selma Debag, Suzanne Muaji Daraz, Randa Jarrar, Randa Abdel Fattah. If you read the Palestinian literature, you will come to know the reality of Palestine, like Nakba, how in 1948, how Israel was created forcefully and how people have suffered. Then there is Intifada also, in how Palestinians are resistance, how they are fighting against this colonialism, and now it is electronic Intifada also. So we should read. If you wish, I can write the names of some of the books, and I can post the poem also, some of the poem which Mahmoud Darwish has written. And there are lots and lots of poet, writer. Even I have added a friend of mine, Abir, in our group. But unfortunately, she's from Gaza. She is not able to join today. And Nikki, you remember I have introduced you to Hidayah also. Hidayah Abul Hawa. She lives in Jenin, Palestine. She lives in Palestine, but she is an Israeli citizen, so she feels a little bit scared to join. So I think with this we can conclude: read Palestinian literature, support Palestine. This is what, and boycott all those products which are being manufactured by Israel, or which are directly, indirectly supporting Israel. So with this we can end this evening. Thank you everyone for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much.
Dr. Shamanaz?
Yes, sir.
Shamanaz?
Yes, yes, sir.
support
हाँ.
Israel इसके
हाँ.
बारे में बताओ.
I invite you to read my poem.
Yes, yes.
My poem on the slaughter of the innocents.
Oh.
Because there is everything. And I'm happy to today. I should go, and I leave you with this message of peace. Of course, we hope, let's hope. We cannot do more. We can spread our voice. Let hear our voice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Franca.
Reverend Yul Bhatti, sir, you were saying something?
Yes, I want to say thanks to Dr. Who's our speaker, Dr. Sajaudeen.
Sajaudeen. Dr.
Very
Sajaudeen.
Sajaudeen, yeah. It's very informative thoughts for me also. And also, Dr. Shamanaz, your input, and Rana Basharat Ali. It's a wonderful. I want to say thanks to some person who joined in my call. That is a Norman Lewis from Pakistan. That is and there is also a very good scholar, Dr. Joe Soroya from Canada, and Norma is from Pakistan, and also Nasreen and Noman Zaki. So they are the part of our organization. So they are doing so lot of things. This session is a very blessing for me and very informative. So thank you so much for such very valuable Dr. Sajaudeen. Thank you so much. God bless you. If anybody from Dr. Gio and Jeff from Canada, would you like to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. नहीं बात.
Okay, Dr. Aman Shahid.
Sajaudeen, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Dr. Sajaudeen, I want to know what is the point of view of Palestinian Jewish in current situation? Are they with the Palestinian Muslims or Israeli Jews? What is their point of view?
Noman bhai, should I answer this question? Palestine, who are historically Jewish, who historically belong to Palestine, they always support Palestine. These people who are inflicting so much of terror and everything on Palestinian are outsiders who have been chased by Germans or other countries.
May I know the question? What was the question, Dr. Shamanaz? Dr.
No, he's
Shamanaz?
asking, are Palestinian Jewish supporting Palestine or Israel?
Yeah. Actually, I think Shamanaz has correctly responded. As I said, it's mostly the Jews who came to Palestine, but not the Palestinian Jew. They are called Haredi Jews. Please remember this word, and you can read more about them. Thank you. Is there any other question you want me to respond to?
Yes, thank you very much.
Activist, a leader, and a founder and chairman of the International Human Rights Movement.
Yes, Dr. Sajidin, thank you very much. I just want to appreciate your presentation and to say
Hello, Dr. Shamanas, are you able to listen to him? I am not able to listen to him,
No,
please.
no. I think there is some technical problem in the voice. Nikki, Dr. Nikki, can we end our session because it is
Yeah,
late?
we'll end the, we'll respond to everybody on WhatsApp, but the session is ending now. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph Akanoli, for the Zoom. Thank you, Dr. Magisha, for being here, and everybody else. Thank you, Rana. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone, for such a wonderful session. Special thank to Dr. Sajauddin, Nikki Depina, and Dr. Basharat.
Thank you.
Ciao, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
मतलब ऑनलाइन मिल जाएगा लेकिन पढ़ाई
Hi.
इसमें देख